Students react as racial posts resurface from an OU freshman's high school days. A new gun control bill is introduced on Capitol Hill, and one way an OU organization is fighting to fight in food insecurity. This is OU Nightly. Hello, thank you for joining us for OU Nightly. I'm Emma Sears.
And I'm Deyton Deller. We begin with outcry on the OU campus over racist posts on social media. A current freshman made the post while he was a high school student, but they recently resurfaced. Jackson Moore's Snapchat account showed instances of blackface and the use of the N-word posted when he was a high school student in Texas. According to a former Aledo, Texas high school coach or student, the old posts were reshared due to a separate racially charged incident currently going on at Moore's former school district.
I was just getting angrier and angrier, reading about everything that was happening at Aledo. And I knew that Jackson had gone to Aledo. And so I was like, another Aledo boy getting away with a bunch of racism. And so as I was just getting angrier about it, I thought I should expose him as well.
Some OU students are taking to Twitter to express their displeasure with Moore's actions. Moore says in a statement he received backlash at Aledo for being gay, and that influenced his, quote, immature behavior. In a private message to a student, OU says it is facilitating dialogue with Moore. Moore also states that the university has provided an amazing environment to grow past these posts he made before becoming a student here.
As gun violence continues to be a hot topic in the United States, a group is remembering lives lost across the nation. Their goal is to send a message to the U.S. Senate. OU Nightly's Skylar Tallal is live in D.C. with this story. Skylar?
Yeah, thanks, guys. I'm outside at the National Mall where there are 40,000 roses on display right behind me. They represent the number of Americans who lose their lives to gun violence each year. A new bill was introduced yesterday that would ban the sale, manufacturing, transfer, and possession of magazines that can hold more than 10 rounds. Gun control continues to be a top priority for the Biden administration, and we spoke with Representative Kevin Hern on Biden's executive actions.
They're assuming that, law-abiding citizens will conform to the law, which we will. The unfortunate thing is law-abiding citizens like myself aren't the ones going out and killing people. It's bad people. And there's nothing there to prevent them from doing this continually.
And there's still no new information on when the two gun control bills will be voted on in the Senate. Live from D.C., Skylar Tallal, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Skylar. Today, Derek Chauvin has chosen to not testify in his defense. Lauren Johnson has that story and the rest of today's headlines from around the world.
Thanks, Deyton. Today was the last day of witness testimony in Chauvin's trial, and many things happened. Derek Chauvin chose not to testify in his defense. Judge Peter Cahill rejected a prosecution request to present new evidence regarding blood gas readings, and Dr. Martin Tobin was called as a rebuttal witness and said Dr. David Fowler was simply wrong on Floyd's carbon monoxide level. Both sides rested, and closing arguments will begin on Monday. And Dante Wright was killed by a Minnesota police officer in an arrest attempt last weekend. Now that officer has been charged with manslaughter. Wright's mother questions if justice is enough.
Justice isn't even a word to me. I do want accountability, 100% accountability. Like my sister said, the highest accountability. But even then, when that happens, if that even happens, we're still going to bury our son.
His family thinks it's a good step towards accountability. And the Biden administration may announce the removal of more than a dozen Russian diplomats, as well as sanctions targeting Russian individuals and entities. These individuals are allegedly involved with the SolarWinds cyber intrusion and interference in U.S. elections. The Biden administration also confirmed a Russian agent shared polling data from Trump's 2016 campaign with Russia's intelligence services. President Biden is planning to sign these executive orders sometime today. And the body of an LSU student who was missing for over a week has been found in the Mississippi River. The 18-year-old's family asked to respect their privacy during this time. Emma, back to you.
As vaccinations continue to increase across the state, the Oklahoma State Department of Health continues to report a lower number of COVID-19 cases. The Oklahoma State Department of Health reports 10,030 active cases in the state, with 302 of those reported new today. The CDC is also reporting 8,114 total deaths for Oklahoma. And Deyton, we've seen a lot of April showers recently.
Yes, we have. Juliana Mejia is here to tell us if this rain will be sticking around. Juliana?
Yes, speaking of rain, we're taking a look now at the live radar playing this out. You can definitely see that heavier rain is further south of us at the moment, but this is picking up and kind of going through. You've probably seen this on and off drizzle so far. And so we'll be talking about all the rain to come through tonight. It's going to stick around into tomorrow morning, and then going into the weekend, we'll have a cooler start, definitely with some clouds hanging around up until the end of the weekend. But we'll have more on that in a little while. Back to you ladies at the desk.
This week, Gaylord College is collecting donations for the OU Food Pantry. According to the pantry, 1 in every 3 college students is experiencing food insecurity. Nightly's Taylor Stephenson joins us now in the newsroom. Taylor?
Oklahomans continue to struggle with food insecurity as the state's hunger rate is higher than the national average. One OU student suffered from food insecurity and now gives back through one of the school's organizations. Behind the Papa John's on Elm Avenue sits an OU hidden gem. The OU Food Pantry provides free food to the school community. According to the Oklahoma Food Bank, about 594,000 Oklahomans currently struggle to find their next meal. Rihanna Williams, the pantry's associate director of operations, was one of those people a couple of years ago.
Just having to always see my mom just kind of like work really hard to provide for me and my sisters. Sometimes she wouldn't eat, just so that we could eat. So it was definitely like a huge deal in my life. That's why I'm super passionate about what I do here at the OU Food Pantry.
The COVID-19 pandemic has only increased the number of hungry children across the state from 1 in 4 to 1 in 3. Yet, Williams believes that food insecurity is still considered a taboo topic.
When people seek out help to receive food, it's as if, they're not working hard to provide for themselves. And we have things that go on in our lives where, it's uncontrollable and out of our hands. So I definitely think it's an issue that could be worked on and that could be seen in a better light, because receiving help is okay.
From pancake mix to pads, the pantry and its staff are here to serve their consumers.
I definitely think we're growing in the amount of resources that we're providing, not just food. We're starting our campus closet and just other miscellaneous items like feminine products.
And the pantry will only grow from here. If you or someone you know would like to receive food or hygiene resources from the OU Food Pantry, orders can be placed through the OU Engage online form. Pickups for these items is on Tuesdays and Wednesdays from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And if you've had your COVID shots, you're not quite done yet.
Find out which vaccines will be introducing a booster shot later this year and why you may need it. Plus, even though Oklahoma has opened up the COVID-19 vaccines to everyone, participation rates are slowing down.
See what medical experts have to say about it straight ahead on OU Nightly. Moderna and Pfizer have plans for a booster shot for their COVID vaccine. The third shot is designed to boost immunity protection as concerns grow about emerging COVID variants. The National Institute of Health began testing the booster last month, and the FDA's approach to approving modified COVID vaccines is similar to that of annual flu vaccines, so they could be cleared for emergency use without lengthy clinical trials.
The number of Oklahomans lining up to get vaccines is on a downward trend. OU Nightly's Weger has more on that story in today's Health Beat.
While all Oklahomans are eligible to receive the coronavirus vaccine, the rush to get the shot is slowing down. When vaccines first became available in the state, Oklahomans quickly lined up to receive their shots.
It was crazy at the beginning. In fact, we had our very first pod sell out in, I want to say it was like 10 or 11 minutes.
But last week, the same lab held another pod with drastically different results.
We had 14,000 appointments and we only had 1,000 people use the appointments.
Oklahoma has completed all phases of the vaccine rollout, even extending their efforts to surrounding states.
If you want a vaccine and you live in Oklahoma, you can get a vaccine. In fact, if you live right now, if you live in Texas and you want a vaccine, you can come to Oklahoma and get a vaccine.
For many different reasons, some Oklahomans still aren't getting vaccinated. Some are scared of factors like possible infertility, and some are scared the shot may inject more than a vaccine.
The one that's the most common is government conspiracy, and it's a chip in your arm. They're going to track you. And I've said this on the news. If you're worried about being tracked, then get rid of this.
If you're curious about the right vaccine, the answer may be simpler than you think.
Even just getting one shot is better than getting no shots. And people wonder, well, which is the right one to get? Well, the one that you can get today.
Emmy Labs is encouraging people to get the vaccine, and you can get it as early as today or tomorrow. To make a vaccination appointment, visit Emmy Labs or the Oklahoma State Department of Health website. Emma and Deyton, back to you guys.
And a new diversity course is coming to OU in light of recent racist incidents. Stay tuned to find out what it is and how it will help better educate students.
Plus, Juliana, what can we expect for the weather this weekend?
Yeah, so showers that we've seen some drizzle today. It's been gloomy. Showers are going to persist all through tonight and ramp up going into tomorrow morning. Things will keep being gloomy through Saturday. We'll have details on the rain forecast coming up next with weather. Welcome back to OU Nightly, our OKC Skycam at the moment showing us dreary, gloomy conditions. We're sitting pretty chilly right now at 54 degrees, winds coming from the north. Lows tonight aren't going to, cool off too much. Will be 50 tonight here in Norman, as low as 41 up in Guyman. So things are going to stay relatively chilly. But moving on into the rain forecast, we're looking at the upper level wind map to show you the progression of this trough that's coming from the Rockies over into Oklahoma. And as the conditions and the effects of this trough increase going into the night, we're really going to see potentially some hail chances further south with storms and showers that are going to keep going through the night tonight. But again, those hail chances are mostly for southwest Oklahoma. And looking at the radar to see how this rain plays out, we do have going into tomorrow morning a little bit of a heavier rain band. And so that does bring us a chance for a possible thunderstorm going into the morning. Before noon is really that likely. But really this is just continuous showers overnight tonight going through tomorrow morning, and kind of getting a look at the rain totals that we're expecting. We're going to fall just short of an inch, really higher totals out towards the east as this system moves east, and showing you the progression of the day tomorrow here in Norman. Again, that chance of a possible thunderstorm, but really just the showers that are going to go through and dissipate out into the evening. And looking at this, our 7-day finally, we will stay chilly Saturday with cloud coverage, but then pick up a little bit going into the top of next week before we do have some additional chances for precip next week. That's something to keep an eye on with the future forecast. For now, Emma, Deyton, definitely don't leave the house tomorrow morning without an umbrella and a raincoat. So thank you.
I definitely won't. Thanks, Juliana. The university is reviewing options for who will head up a newly required diversity program. The Gateway to Belonging course was one of the requests made by the OU Black Emergency Response Team back in February of 2020. It became part of the university's strategic plan in July. This course is designed to help students better understand other perspectives and cultures. The final candidates for director of the program will be explaining their vision for the course over the next week.
And the Sooners will have some chances to bring in even more national championships.
Grace Burget is here to tell us more. Grace?
That's right, guys. The OU men and women's gymnastics teams start their hunt for the NCAA title. I'll have that story and more when we come back. Hello and welcome back to OU Nightly. I'm Grace Burget. We have a lot of sports to talk today, so let's jump right in. Both OU men and women's gymnastics teams are looking to bring home major hardware this weekend. The number 2 seeded women's team punched their trip to Fort Worth after they won their 11th straight regional title. And the number 1 men's team, led by the CGA West Region Coach of the Year, Mark Williams, is seeking their 13th national title in program history. And from the mat to the hardwood, Oklahoma guards Davion Harmon and Alondis Williams entered the transfer portal today. This comes nearly 2 weeks after the Sooners named Porter Moser as their new head coach. And for Harmon, his parents and Moser both say there's a good relationship between the two, and there's still a chance he returns to Oklahoma. And with the spring game just around the corner, 5th-year senior Jeremiah Hall looks to be taking on a leadership role. Spencer Rattler touched on Hall's locker room presence in a press conference today.
All the offensive leaders, we spoke on, things we need to improve on and, to work on throughout the spring. And I think Jay Hall said everything that we needed to hear today. And he's just one of those guys that has the knowledge and has been through the most here, with this being his 5th year and his last run at it. So.
And today it was announced that the late, great Kobe Bryant will be inducted into the Naismith Basketball Hall of Fame by none other than his idol, Michael Jordan. Kobe emulated Michael's style, and on May 15th, the Bulls legend will induct Kobe Bean as part of the 2020 class. And 7-time NBA All-Star LaMarcus Aldridge unexpectedly announced his retirement today due to an irregular heartbeat. Prior to playing just 5 games with the Nets, Aldridge played almost 6 seasons as a San Antonio Spur and 9 seasons as a Portland Trailblazer. And the countdown is on as the WNBA draft goes down tonight. The Dallas Wings hold 4 picks in the first 13 selections, and Texas's Charlie Collier is projected to be the Wings' number 1 pick. Coverage begins tonight at 6 p.m. And the Perfect Game Club almost got a new member, but a no-hitter ended up being the consolation prize for White Sox pitcher Carlos Rodon. His only blemish on the game was hitting Cleveland's catcher Roberto Perez with a pitch on the foot in Chicago's 8-0 win. No love was lost between the two teams as the benches cleared in the first inning of today's matchup. And the people of Boston honor the lives lost in the Boston Marathon bombing as today marks 8 years since the tragic terror attack. Boston Mayor Kim Janey paid a visit to the memorial in downtown Boston to pay her respects, and crews repainted the finish line on the concrete in remembrance. And if you haven't watched any MLB action yet this season, today might be the day to start. Today marks the legendary Jackie Robinson Day, and the entire league will be sporting the number 42 in honor of him. Emma and Deyton, you won't want to miss it.
Thanks, Grace. I can't wait to check it out. And a California man is turning heads on the highway.
Find out the cute and cuddly reason why straight ahead on OU Nightly.
I'm Jessie Klinger at the OU Nightly Update Desk. The body cam footage from the Knoxville police shooting will not be released despite the mayor's demands. District Attorney Sharm Allen says releasing the footage is complicated by a state law requiring the redaction of body cam footage showing kids in schools. The DA will also stated she will not release the video before she decides whether or not to pursue criminal charges against the 4 officers involved. Emma and Deyton, back to you.
You've heard of hitchhikers before, but you probably haven't heard of a hitchhiker dressed as a stuffed animal. The Santa Clarita Valley Sheriff's Office got a picture of this giant teddy bear strolling through town.
A deputy who met the person inside the bear suit found out the goal is to walk all the way from Los Angeles to San Francisco. According to local media, he goes by Bear Son, and he's documenting his long walk on Instagram.
Yeah, speaking of long walks outside, it doesn't sound like we're going to be spending too much time outside this weekend. Juliana, can you tell us more about that?
Yeah, definitely. One last look at our week-long forecast here. Main focus is on rain tonight going into tomorrow morning. We are expecting a potential thunderstorm before noon about tomorrow afternoon, but going into the weekend, definitely wouldn't plan on making any outdoor lunch plans of anything of the sort unless you can really handle the cold, because it is particularly chilly for our weekend. We will have a little more sunshine come Sunday. Things will pick up and be lovely on Monday. However, we will have additional precip chances going into Tuesday and Thursday as well. Definitely something to keep an eye on with OU Nightly tomorrow as well, future forecasts. But yeah, for now, back to you, Emma, Deyton. Thank you guys.
Thank you, Juliana, and thank you for watching OU Nightly here at the University of Oklahoma.
Come back and see us tomorrow, same time, same place. Good night.